Right. Good evening, everybody. Good afternoon. Good morning. On behalf, some people say in, preposition language, of the Then and Now media platform, I bring una greetings and salutations. Me when they talk to una this evening, I'm in Prince Emil Koroma, we're one of the anchor at the Then and Now media platform. And today, the 13th of August, 2021, we do have a very, very special guest. Now we missed. This guest is special, again, in many respects, in the sense that the program we're about to talk about this evening is very central to him. Na man we cogent, na man we tangent, na man we know exactly what he want to talk about. And in fact, the program is his. This man is an aspirant for the flag bearership of the All People's Congress political party. And he gets a vision, and that vision, now he one can put down to the Salon people today. We know they say no don't talk about that today, but when you're on a campaign mode, for explain yourself to the general public so that they will understand where you stand politically, socially, and economically. These are the rounds that you do. So I want to welcome a very special brother and friend, Chief Alhaji Thonkla Bangura. Chief, welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. I'm delighted to be here. Thank you, Prince. God bless you. I'm very grateful. And una good afternoon, una good evening across the world, from London to Sierra Leone, Freetown, Masimira as well. I thank you for joining tonight. I'm Chief Alhaji Thonkla Bangura, former and current Predecessor aspirant for All People's Congress. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And once again, a massive welcome to you. And Fambulem, for una we just join, una we get for join, we they ask, this na ritual on this platform, we they ask for shape the flyer. They will shape the flyer, they will also shape the live feed, share and let other people in Kanye, because the national conversation is on, and the Then and Now media empire is spearheading that conversation on a national level. And today we get a very prominent son of the soil for can help we understand where exactly he stands. So like I say again, in the Then and Now this evening, we get none other but Chief Alhaji Thonkla. Chief, I know one for intimate. I know one for insinuate. I know one for talk about your opinion because I don't know. But for the benefit of the general public, can you please tell us your opinion about the state of your country today as you see them, sir?
Thank you very much, Prince. If we look at, we apply a column, the bird's eye view over Sierra Leone. Not only the bird's eye view, would they draw a correlation between 2018 to 2021, from 2008 to 2011. There are 3 years of President Koroma era and 3 years of President Bio era. So I think if we want to draw a fair correlation, so if we look at both sides of the coin. Now let us start from President Koroma era with 2008 to 2011. When President Koroma came, former President Koroma came, he made Sierra Leone as a failed state because a country will rely on probably 90% of foreign donation for pay salary or for survive, and most of the basic things they'll be missing. And the country be there as a crossroad just post after civil war. He made the country fairly broken. Hope does struck. So, and what he do in most of this country, if rush for catch up, we are doomed. So what we have to do, we have to reach out. He cut across boundaries, he reach out to the opposition, he reach out to the international community, then he asks for making help for market Sierra Leone, not a country that is begging, but a country that is actually determined, a desire for get investment, foreign investment in the country. So therefore, he came 2008 in London, he came market Sierra Leone, and we'll see a colossal influx of investment in Sierra Leone. We change the status quo. And what do you do? Because if you have only a foreign investment, there are certain key indicators. Those key indicators, you have to tick the boxes. If you miss those essential boxes, you are in trouble. So what you do, say the first important thing we go to invest on is stability. He brought in stability. Some people will say, oh, there has to be reprisal because the way the former government behaved was bad. He said, no. If you have to develop, you cannot fight two wars. You cannot be fighting war, political retaliation, whilst you are fighting to change the country where the country was ill, still was sick. Because if a capital city, when Africa, you get just 5% voltage of light, 5%. So the country was in a terrible darkness, the city, I mean. So he gave all the, give a 10 box there. Okay, let's go to the indicators. The first one is stability, what I don't discuss. He created the enabling environment, he brought instability. He bring in the opposition. I remember the first trip where he go to Burkina Faso, he flew to Maada Bio, he flew to John Benjamin and some other SLPP, some members of parliament. He flew with them to Burkina Faso. In first trip, we go there. Now, so a leader of government reach out across the board because national cohesion, we'll discuss what, you cannot ignore it if you want to develop a country like a Sierra Leone. It's national cohesion for be as the apex of any government to have to change Sierra Leone. Very important. So it takes them to go down. This is about me, but I just tell you, I draw comparison between the current status quo and the past. So you do that, that's helpful bridge the gap between the Southeast and Northwest. Okay, so now, Carl London to the black market Sierra Leone, boom, country was flying. Brought in employment, brought in incentive for FDIs, bring a lot of income for the government. They will start to claim, start to grow. Sierra Leone pick up. I remember, they do me oil and gas 2011. When I saw the IMF projection for Sierra Leone was the fastest growing economy. 41 point something. I remember if you still go to IMF projection 2011, 2012 for Sierra Leone, it was the fastest growing economy because a country is not built by the private sector. Sorry, by the public sector. It is built by the private sector or private-public partnership. But the private sector now they build a country because the foreign investor and they get back for spend because the public sector is small and they cannot create all the jobs with the handful. So therefore, you get for Leo in foreign investment for pump money in the economy. Now that is missing right now. That's grossly missing, and it's missing because of not only incompetence, but because of this sheer inherent wickedness and greed. And by that, I don't put to be so because you see some issue away from government to take. These are I call them our own goal. They are self-inflicted injuries. Okay, so now. Okay, who actually struck President Koroma? That was the coming of the Ebola. But I don't go that far there. I don't tell you. So, but
yeah, exactly, Chief. I mean, you've not minced your words there, but I've been one zooming on the present situation. I really thank you for the contrast, which is good.
Yes, I'm building a story here. I build a story here. So
okay,
I build a story here. So now, if you ask me what is the current status quo in Sierra Leone, the reason why we are in this trap, we are in this predicament, is because of who failed to tick the boxes, who failed to do the right thing which will transform the country. Because development, not one government, now successive governments. It's like building a house, lay the foundation, build the first, say you go to the roof. Now, so you build the country. President Koroma set the platform. Okay, where President Bio came, we see an entrenched level of hostility. And that's what investors wants. We see an entrenched level of political retaliation. And that's what we investors like. Because investors want to put a money outside knows it. If he puts a multi-million dollars investment or pounds investment in any country, it expects dividend in return. But when a country is volatile, it's not going there. So you're looking at the videos, you look at the videos, the photos of human rights abuses, they cut across the world from Sierra Leone. This was sending a bad message to the international community because we'll get FBIs, we'll get MI5, then they're on the social media, they are saying. We even get investors, they are watching videos. They Twitter, they Facebook, they now YouTube. They are watching these videos. So that alone put them off. So what is missing? What is missing? Now one word, confidence and trust. The foreign investors, they don't get confidence in the country because they look at the hostility, they're looking at the political confrontation all the time. This was manufactured by the current government. And the complaint said that the opposition. No, because there are tangible evidence where we look and say they were causing this problem. So that I seen an own goal, that's self-inflicted injury. So today, we are doomed as Sierra Leone is stuck. We are not growing. And that's what I can't talk about, because the rebirth of Sierra Leone is about growth.
I'm going to pause you there, because exactly that's what you're going to talk about on this program, but we will get for develop the story. Many thanks for trying to jump ahead of me. But here is the second part, here to the beginning of this anticipated great conversation, I want to call it, rather than an interview, which is you do belong to a political entity, and the picture where you just create a demonized one, paint a good picture of another, even though other people then go disagree. But what I can always say, facts speak for themselves. So people get places they also then can go do references, look at circumstances, and tangible evidence like indicators, both with we partners them in progress and etc. World-renowned body them or institutions for let them draw their own conclusion. But Mr. Chief Thonkla, the party where you belong to, when at the All People's Congress, for which you want aspire for become a flag bearer, a name they in the mud lately. Okay, when I say in the mud, I mean figuratively speaking. But here is the thing, Mr. Chief Thonkla. Recently, we see a court case against the party in which some kind of ruling was rendered. But I think we don't drag on at the court for over a period of time. So again, without trying to think for you, insinuate whatever way, I want to give you the opportunity again for let you tell me where the party team up today, Usa Imide and Usa team up today as a consequence of this ruling. How do we go forward from Usa with the waiting are your thoughts, sir?
Thank you very much. When we go for the convention at Poloko, I was given a platform for giving view. And I'm so fortunate when I've studying, when I've been doing LLP, one of my models always be alternative models, and I be alternative dispute resolution. And I know when you talk for resolve a dispute, the two end of the two parties of that dispute, therefore always they think about one word: compromise. Compromise is important in politics, in business, everywhere. When it's a compromise, not to say you take the other person's rights. Now your rights, now you give in for make the other person say give in your rights. They want to meet in the middle, want to negotiate, want to sign and move on. So what time we talk to the leadership, the chairman and leader, say we'll go for compromise and take the case of any item out of court. Now, brothers and our comrades, they'll no go talk out of court. Say one, it cost effective. Secondly, it heals them where it no go escalate. And I think that view was taken on board. Today, that issue has been almost resolved. The current status quo of APC, say within our court, is not new in politics. From time again, I'll keep saying this. Let's look at politics like a business. If you open a company for the past 10 years, that picking will be 10 years old. Today, 2021, it don't become 20 years. It don't get different desire. It don't get different demand we want. Well, that product will be sell yesterday. You know what I get today. So what you do as a business, it is the structure, the business. It either bring a new product for making entice the current customers for retain them, because retention by business is very important. It counts different models, different products for retaining your customer base. Very important. It will restructure the company. It will transfer, it change, it will reform. For me, I track that bubble or that lady will be 10 years or less, the past 10 years. Now it don't become 20 years. You don't want, it gets the thing we want. But if you say the stock, you need to change the company, you go just stick by the old product, you lost your customers.
Yeah. So
look at those customers as a metaphor. These are voters. If you get voters, for make your party become attractive in the marketplace, you attract new, because of voters, they're stuck in the middle. They know they're not any party, they can vote, they can swing any side. So for me, leader to a party, you get for reform a party, for me, attract those voters when they sit at the fence. So this is why reform is very essential in any party, in any government, in any policy, in any organization. Reform, because you cannot just keep moving with one idea, one policy. You give account to new ideas. So if you say APC is on the mud, I beg to differ. We on court case, it's not confrontational, because I don't see we never the court case. They put cutlass. They put cutlass They say, but we are using the legal instrument for
Chief, allow me for push back on that small before you begin for develop and continue for go. It is, you know, yeah, for to do a sling match between X and Y and say, look at the other one, then far worse. But we've seen situations like now the party in office, for example, and all waiting wiki do not lock on people and people were chased, fracas, binde, police come. I mean, that is almost the equivalent of the party in being dragged to a mud. Some of it is exaggerated, but for some of it, we see a play live.
Well, Miss, I see more, for the benefit of viewers, there more information is required on that incident. One for know what's the latest part because me you know did it, not so. We two know did it. We don't know whether they go for about 10 bit or I read about senior comrade Dr. Ernest Bai Koroma say he was there. Okay, well, because I don't engage the journalist on that incident, man, know what's in part of the story. Because probably he gets authorization for make allow access. I don't know. I don't engage, even senior comrade Dr. Ernest Bai Koroma and also talk to them. So I am not privy to the insight of what happened at the party. But again, one thing where I always appeal for in politics is tolerance. I might be more to wash with the Tilini inside rather than outside. Okay. That incident is very unfortunate, but that incident is that it's not there was no hostility. There wasn't. But what happened? I did go back because at the end of the day, we're a political party. I did go back to neighbors there. I remember where the county Menkala was badly humiliated in the party office. That never happened now in our office. No, it never happened. Let's call a spade a spade. That county Menkala was badly humiliated in the party office. But that's never happened to any of the members in the party office. No. Now they say they lock them out. Why they lock them out, I don't know. Because I understand say for security reasons. So let's make it clear to the public. Okay. There were no hostility. Nobody was injured. Nobody was beaten. Nobody was sworn to. So let's make it clear. There were no hostility. It was the gates were locked. That will happen. No fighting.
Anyway, Chief, you're not implying that there were no other incidents because you seem to be referring to a specific one. What about the case about Mr. Alfred Conte? Because I interviewed him. Remember, it was also alleged at some point that Mr. Alfred Conte was meant to organize or hold a meeting at the party's HQ. But because of miscommunication between the party's Secretary General and Mr. Conte in team, it evolved into something else in which, Lily push and shove Binde. So this was another incident, although it was not as serious as the one that way you mentioned what happened on the other side. But definitely there were a few incidents, Mr. Chief Thonkla. Isn't it so, sir?
I don't dispute it. There are no incidents. I said there are no hostility.
Okay. So distinguish hostility from incidents, yeah?
Yes. There are no hostilities. Okay. Nobody was beaten. Nobody was swear at. Nobody was humiliated. Right? Okay. If they don't feel humiliated because they locked them out by you, me, I'm sorry for that because it's not right for me. APC office now, all of it. They say all People's Congress. It's our office, all of us. But again, even if they say all People's Congress, if I have to use the party office, I seek authorization from the Secretary General because he is the return officer for the party.
Absolutely.
Anybody understand? So if I don't do that means I don't actually breach a principle. I'm a key of me using the party office. I kind of not to get to a cowboy place. I have to talk to authorities for me to be allowed to use that office. If that's not happen, well, probably that's what caused the problem. I wasn't there. I'm not privy to the information.
Okay, so we'll leave that to conjecture and etc. etc. Chief Thonkla, looking at you and knowing you a bit, you look quite a young man, and for which you try for aspire for, not impossible. It's a doable thing, and it's a reachable thing, and you seem kind of determined. But looking at things the way they happen, it seems like the issue with reform gives you or puts you in the best position for realize your goal or your objective. So I ask you, in terms of reform, internal party reform generally, where do you stand? Because part of the problem that the party is going through today, the spasm, the this, the that, is based on reform. There's one group you will know better than I do where they call for reform, and there's another way seen for they resist or want a different kind of reform as opposed to outside the other one and they call for. Where do you stand on this, sir?
Thank you very much. Anything where they make my party better, it looks acceptable to anybody. I mean, I can make it happen. To be honest, you talk about reforms. Listen, we get two types of agents. We get agents the way they resist change. They get agents the way they propagate change. So, and you know, but just especially they can't bring change. It think it's a walk in the park. No, you get for meet or you get some stormy blocks because some people they accept the way things are. Some say no, demand more. And reform, I don't want to be an egocentric. The reform is not about me.
Yeah.
It's about us. It's about us. The young men, young women, grassroots, uproots, everybody. It's about us, right? If me become a beneficiary of those reforms, thanks God for that, right? That's for me. It's good. If any other candidate becomes a beneficiary of those reforms, thanks God too, right? What it matter? I want to make the party in a position where it is attractable to voters, even voters that sat on the fence. That's how I want. I want my party make it reflect the principle of democratization, because APC party now a social democrat party. We are, because we policy them, they are socially acceptable. So if the party people they young say let's try and reform, more try get and embed principle of democracy, of course. And the party, see, the party they move towards that. Even though we are moving in a still place, but it's happening. It's happening. And to be honest, you would have therefore actually commend APC, because APC party in Sierra Leone, not only the largest democratic party, but we brought democracy to Sierra Leone. We formed multi-party system. This has to be acknowledged. We did it. SLPP, we have thrown that multi-party system. They try for actually nurture even one-party state, right? But we said, no. We brought in the 1991 constitution, way open, way to the gateway to democracy. We did it. But they see people, they didn't beat this drum of we. APC is the party that brought democracy to Sierra Leone.
So whilst one should be nurture, according to you, one-party system nurture, let's cap on that word, one actually carried that out, and that happened for BU Party, All People's Congress, for many years.
Actually, so this has to be acknowledged.
A one-party,
yes, exactly.
A one-party
exactly. It is a gateway to democracy. Simple. We did it. For the late former president, just for more, or for the records, he did it. He signed. Execution did it. Who did it? Not to accept that APC.
Absolutely.
So this has to. So we are not for that reforms, neither democratic principles. No. In fact, we are yearning for them, and it's happening. Even though we are going to a still pace, because one thing for understand, Prince. No, let's make it clear. I remember 2017, people have been shouting, "Oh, we want APC out. We want changes." I appeal to everybody in Sierra Leone across the world, make them this fact. And people are jumping. APC don't go sit there, they made them go. We are fed up with APC. Okay. Today, please, today, people, that APC, what they said they want yesterday, they want to today, no, they want to. In fact, they have to fast track they have to fast track the days of this government. Let's say one day will be 3 days, right? This APC would have been thrown and say, "Oh no, APC today." They have APC come back today. Look at brothers and Swazi. These guys are self-employed. Government give a job. These guys, I call them SMEs, small medium enterprises. They were changing dollars to put food on dinner table, for pay school fees, for pay tax, for feed the economy. That's up.
Yeah, okay, but Chief. Chief, I'm not cut you off, but this now issue we get for come up in we discussion here tonight, and we get plenty gone for still cover. I promise you that, and we go cover all them ground there, because again we get for talk to you about your information project. Where do you stand policy wise in terms of your wider objective? But before we come to that, I want to ask you one final question on this APC business. Where now the outcome of the judgment where they render against the party or for the party, whichever way you want to take them, quite recently, where we understand, say those of us on the outside, say the party, finally they go to convention. I don't know how true is that. So we want to hear from you. How do you see that verdict the way Justice Fisher render the party? Is it acceptable? Is it fair? Are you going to abide by it? What's the way forward?
Well,
one thing I will say, we dispute with all the agreed party, them, we not end in international criminal court. We end in a domestic court. So that for one, they tell us, we get confidence into the courts. That particular court day and that particular judge, because even though the order we give, it's not about all the APCs, it's about both parties where they want to court. And I wish the party good luck for the convention. And the order, not all order APC, they believe to we. No, they just ask we for whole of convention, and we agree for whole of convention. So I feel say going to court and resolve disputes. We have to say, end up on punches, on boxes, on or kick each other, or even take a weapon against each other. No, we went to court to seek remedy. This is normal. Normal. Labour Party can take to court for certain remedy as well as conservative. And obviously, many people not say going to court now like a nuclear war. No, going to court, the court is a platform for resolve disputes. So forget it. If people say they are aggrieved, they get grievance against the party, they will go to court to solve them. I feel say that's a way, a mature way for agree to disagree. Please, please don't go offline, but I'll continue for talk. So the court order, they just tap on our back, say, ladies and gentlemen, it's about time to make a convention. Indeed, in fact, we want for the convention. So no saying that we scared for hold. No, we only have for the convention, and by God in power will go up, and it will come off right. By God in power, God will put blessing. Nothing will happen, and God will be a leader. We get compassion and sorry heart and God-fearing heart for that country. And me know say the next government we the kind of Salona APC government. So I'm rest assured, I'm confident. It doesn't matter how many years left, how many months left. SLPP will beat them three. So please, I will try to come back more and carry on the conversation. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the one where they present the show no day, well, me the host. I was also a presenter in another show. So when I just be a small, we please come, get some technical issues. We come, then we'll go carry on the conversation. I thank you very much, and my apologies on behalf of Medina now for this error. You know, na IT issue. So it can go beyond our hands. We know they control 100% control. So I go carry on talking to that. Please come to cover the studio. So yes, now if please ask a question about the court order. Court order, not saying that meeting go between the courts. Like the judge Fisher don't go tap back say, when I go on the convention and the convention, then they need to forget to executive them across the country. Then go help you for more get to the next Flagbearer across the country. Then they give a platform for more prepare for the next election across the country. So if you're not missing about it, yes, I would just wish we issue them out of court. But if they say now, they will go resolve them. Well, it don't happen. So we just go for dust to self and move on. Now, so for do because any political party will lost election, now so it happen. When I must get a soft civil war, we picture more to each other. But thanks God, we all civil war in not end up with blows. I'm looking to as compared to neighbors. We neighbors when I see what's about Kenya, we somebody chap them. But we never happened. And thanks God, we grassroots them with the whole party and stay focused and stay firm and stay attached to the party. They don't care about what they happen, how they beat them, how they treat them. And so we still hopeful because the grassroots now will the party and God bless them for what they do, for support we. So yeah. Please try come there more can actually carry on with this conversation. They are at the big again on behalf of the Then and Now program. Say please they come for more can carry on, yeah. Listener Chief Thonkla Bangura. I was running the show.
Hello, Chief.
Yes, I was running the show.
Wonderful.
I was the host and presenter, so you have to pay me.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for picking up the cue. I mean, this is what we call smart and being very, very.
Absolutely. I was ready. It's like I listened. This was going to happen, so I stepped in.
Yeah. Well, again, Fambul, I want to say thank you to the guest. You see, where leadership they come, leadership that you visionary, and this is exemplary. You can say that for sure. It's one typical example. Mark this down, Chief. This is very good. Thanks. Yeah, I think we lost most of the people that will be not sign up. That's really pathetic. But hopefully they will come again. Some of them may come again. Not really a problem. We need for continue with the show. We still live anyway, and that's the good thing. So I will just let you continue, Usa, you've been there in terms of the delivery of the verdict against your party, whether the measures are acceptable and when they go forward to a convention, or what is expected going forward, please.
Now, well, I was saying the best of two evils. So it's better than nothing. At least, I mean, they're not only for the content of courts. We have to say for imbalance of companies there. We are not humiliated. This I think we end up to senior judge. When I was senior justice at Sierra Leone, he came in the middle, talk to the both parties. At least, as I said earlier, I said when there's a dispute, that's one word with all the flows around, not a compromise. So all the agreed parties and compromise, we don't agree, we disagree. Now we'll move on to the convention. So for me, I don't want to make the case go to court, but if you go to court, the way I will deal with them, we show maturity, we show due diligence, we show say yes, indeed. When somebody complains, we say, you know, happy how to behave. We can go see how we resolve this. We issue them, then we move on. And as I said, I still emphasize, I don't see them punch anybody in a court, either they chase anybody or they put cutlass. No, for the contrary. So for me, I don't say I'm not happy with the people at court, but again, at least our leadership was tested, and they start to the test and we resolve. Now we'll move on.
Okay, many thanks for that, Chief. I want to move on to you sort of vision. Now make we title part of the show. We call you vision for the country. As per you aspiration for one day be a leader for the country. Now, Chief, you're old enough for don't see Sierra Leone come off from prosperity to poverty, and then the hopes of our people dashed, and then raised again after the war. And then we fend we self, and I sure say this is not part of the thing where they inspire people like Una for hopefully take the mantle of leadership at one point. Yeah. What should we expect of you? Should eventually this wonderful dream of yours become true? In other words, I want to talk about policy. Where do you stand in terms of policy, be it education, where we go talk about lengthily on this program, and then health and other things there. But give me an overview of policy-wise and waiting you go straighten up for put the country in gear for begin move forward again as it's supposed to be.
Thank you very much. I pray to God, make the vision of the party come towards me, make me the next leader, because I believe say currently at the age where are they in the middle between those I call them senior comrades, I call the grassroots. I'm in the middle. So I can relate to both sides of the spectrum.
Yep.
And I get the energy for driving that country to success. I get the know-how. I get the wisdom for get things done. But what thing I do first, if they get a Flagbearer, the first one I do, I enact a lot of committees. I need a committee for looking at, they get an insight, in-depth insight of the state of the economy. I have to see how bad it is. We can know it's bad, but we have to get a taste of how bad is it. Therefore, from the next day, I get a Flagbearer activity. Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, any day, the next day, we'll hit the ground running. We will get a holistic forensic investigation of all the institutions. We'll get the economic committee, we'll get the health committee, we'll get the education committee. All the while, they get a time frame where they come back and give a full report of what the state of the country, education, the health. Currently, I do on something, I didn't build new policy them, I will set them out. In fact, I don't have to set them out, I will put them out tonight again. So I will set up these committees, not one committees. If it cost me for England for go America, for go see consultants them, for advise me, I can do it. Because I know I'm going to be in office the next day and start complaining that, oh, what did they go on? I have to get an insight of the country in welfare for the day one when it become the next the president of Sierra Leone and it hits the ground on the street because I don't have to make excuses. I don't already get a feedback from the committee I don't set of the state of the country. And that's what I do. And the most important thing is we can get policies. The policies, what you're teaching in law school, policy are like a cloud. Just like international law. Now cloud. If that cloud don't turn to rain, not to rain, it will remain a cloud. So international law, it go up, you go pull them, then you bring that into domestic laws, they become a law of that country. The policy, it can then the reports, it can then your portfolio, right? With your manifesto. If you don't get money, you can't implement it. You have to have money. You can forget money. So the first thing to do, right, and reach out to all stakeholders in Sierra Leone. I don't care your tribe, I don't care your color, I don't care your party, and reach out. One thing that advantage where I face that now that any leader I talk to any aspirant will be called the Flagbearer of APC. Now the post-election conflict. That is a make we or break we. At the envisage retaliation. And they pray to God, may God avert them. But the leader, if me get them, and the mitigator.
Okay.
Because why? Why the mitigator? I have to send a strong international message say Sierra Leone is ready once again for business. Sierra Leone is not a country where full of hostility or hostile to investors. Sierra Leone don't get a leader who not only young, but get a vision where I have to beat Rwanda. Me, I tell Paul Kagame, now I tell Paul Kagame, Magafuli. Because these guys are not angels. They are blacks like me. These guys they are Africans like me. They are not genius, but because they show leadership, they toughen the country. Right? Then we have to stop excuses. The civil war. No. Let's move forward. Let's reject, expel that excuse of civil war. No. Rwanda, 3 months, they get a genocide of nearly 1 million people, 800,000. 3 months. We are about 10 years. It's all up to 200,000. But we are still complaining. We are still making excuses of the civil war. But Paul Kagame, you see, I talked to somebody in there. I say, Thonkla, I say, for me, it's very easy. I say, I know. See, now just to do one thing, leader. We get God-fearing hearts, and we'll take our country. And me, I think I get some. I pray God, please. I don't want to yawn. I don't want to yawn, and I don't want to eat anybody you want to yawn. Right? In fact, I will tell you something about the school free meal. Me, for being a leader in Sierra Leone, the salary, half 50% of salary, they go by the free school meal. Now that's how it starts as a leader.
Okay, Chief, we will come because the free school meal, now one of your major policies, and they are understand.
Major policy.
And program late. Secondly, we just encounter a major problem just now. We get for where they beyond we went an internet problem, Wi-Fi problem. But luckily for we guessed smart enough, and this is not the kind of people them where hopefully we want for the country, and we will see whether the substance really they inside the bone marrow. This is what we want to do here tonight. So we apologize for the TV happening just now. We will not begin develop the number, but then that number they deep. But not we don't worry about the numbers. There's two quick announcements I want to make. One, some people have been very disingenuous for using with material and without acknowledging. I mean, you can cut part of with material and promote them out there. We can understand. But say you get for consult. Other than that, there are copyright laws. And we are a bona fide UK registered entity. And we go take action against anybody. We go continue for violate them basic principle and they using an entire material of ours without acknowledging. The next time I go call the name, but that video day on YouTube on a particular channel. I mean, this is a channel. You take the entire video clip without consulting us, 1 hour, 30 minutes, and play them, and get over 3,000 views as we speak. That can't be right. And for the sake of everyone,
it can't be right.
It cannot be right, my brother. So we need for decease from that. And we frown on that very strongly. If possible, now for withdraw the video. Of course, the views is raving. 3,000 views on somebody in sweat. That's totally uncalled for. So please, we know the people that we talk to now, the recent video where Superman do we interview, I didn't call the man, the NPS man where they aspire for National Publicity Secretary, mile 91. So please, let we take it and let we try for respect this space where they give it. On Monday, lawyer Ademacaulay go dey on the show. This Monday coming, lawyer Ademacaulay go dey on the show for can clarify legal issues surrounding some of the things that we will talk to another APC aspirant right here tonight. But for tonight, we have the indefatigable Mr. Chief Thonkla Bangura. Chief, something where you say regarding policy where I agree with you is on day one for hit the ground running, you organize committees. And then committees, then if I understand you well, now for gather the information, the data, the statistics, because this is not the way policy they work. So you form a theoretical framework. This is policy, and policy in your area of specialization. A theoretical framework where the information, whether you troop they gather, the data and the statistics, now they inform the outcome. This is the way it works, not the other way around. So forget a successful policy and implement them so it can be successful. Now, based on the statistics where they inform that policy, that you go get a successful outcome. So I want to tell you, thank you for that. Well said. Let me go to food policy like free meal. One of the things that we try for articulate policy-wise, we're very popular and politicians and quick to resort to popular moves. So we want to check you and see whether this is not just out of popularity or whether there is substance to this as a matter of necessity. So tell me a little bit about this your free school meal, because it's well publicized, because I see newspaper articles and a free time will come out with that article based on your policy. Tell me a little bit more about this policy about free school meal, please.
Thank you very much. The free school meal, in a nutshell, it entails business as wealth circulation, because everybody then owes a president or minister to put money put in their pockets. So it creates the animal environment. Mr. Prince get in business, get energy, get light for running factory. Now so the circle to wealth.
Lawyers were there. My father is a lawyer, politician, yes, but he's a lawyer. He said that is his.
Sorry,
area.
Just get Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry, Fambulem.
No problem. Me na beneficiary of Kondo. The time where late Sheikh Stephen Bide, we in Bona Gilenwa go primary school. I'm in this Kondo, and that make me go school. So we attend at school.
Kondo na be some kind of incentive.
Yeah.
Remember, I mean,
it is the go school. So I the school I go to school. So if we're looking at the health of picking them, those days, how did they grow? How be happy we go to school, right? In fact, we get something in our school where like we school the lock, we make party. Everybody would look forward to that. So I have to bring back that happiness. Similarly, at the moment, people are traumatized. That's why they also focus on mental health. People are traumatized because the consequence, even as a mono complain again of that conflict we get, the Ebola, people are still traumatized. And even hunger, poverty, it creates trauma. So if people don't say, I go to school, I get bread and money when I'm breakfast, bread and tea, breakfast, 2 loaves of bread, breakfast. Then in the afternoon, I get my lunch. Prince, that's just the change that country education sector completely. And I don't just fit them all, because there's no way the teacher is going to sit up as a passerby. They simply it. No, even the teachers will be beneficial as well. But what do have to do? We do a pilot scheme test. We have to choose such schools them. Now the east, south, north, and west will test this policy. We see looking at the data of attendees, how the people get at school, how they're happy, how the people interaction between them and the teachers them. Because when, as a parent of 3 girls, I know I see the people go to school hungry. They come from school hungry. In the land. What's the essence of free education? That's
okay, Chief. Again, we get limited time, so you therefore forgive me. So now just go to specifics. So then they sound much more like the motivation, which is a good thing. But how do you intend for accomplish this? Both do you have partnership and how you get for custom? Have you?
Well, yes, I will try to get to that.
Okay.
Why be the sir? The school, the Catholic school, RC school, they be feed picking them. If you compare RC school picking them and other private schools them, you will see even the health is different. You see even the way I just gonna be different. So what I tell for do, I have a partner with the Catholic mission, right? Because the reason why you have to bring them in, they already get the expertise. They already know what thing them to do for make this scheme work well. Looking at again corruption, because some people they get afraid God. Picking their food, they will take out. Because don't see them. They sell one ship rest, wake up for the picking them. So I have to try to stop that. At the come with partners. I gave you partners in the UK where in APA also get expertise for do that, right? The funding.
APA some acronym. What do you mean? Who are they?
APA, they're into education, but they focus more on mental health, right? They're into education. In fact, they currently they don't build a policy for Sierra Leone where we don't test them. Now a fresh, brand new policy where not only education, it cut across institutions. Looking at political, social, it cut across because then get something called like this emotional therapy. Because some people where they're traumatized, they need emotional therapy. So they cut them inside the education, right? So if you ask me how we fund them, I know I have to sell out all my bullets because some people they want to know what to talk like the cowards. So the first hour identify that trade. Okay, well, my salary as a president, 50% we go for free school meal, the salary until sanity is restored. Before I will stop that.
That's a salary, 50%. That's a token. That's a token.
Yeah,
thanks, Mr. President.
No, that's leadership. That's leadership.
Yeah, I agree. So, but the issue of funding is more serious, than the gesture of the president.
As I said, I know what reveal everything, but
okay,
any trade, any investment, somebody can say you can't invest in Sierra Leone, you can't buy license. That license will put some bob there. That money will pull them, send them to the school fee.
Brilliant.
Don't. I know some people are going to steal my policies. So I'm just wondering.
you on the record, and we begin to take it into task.
Yeah, thank you very much. So what in the world also think about the fuel they escalate the price and many things will bring that because the OPEC, I check OPEC now increase fuel price. So why Sierra Leone will increase fuel? I don't know, right? Because fuel now a commodity will consume daily. So it counts revenue. So they back I have to put something there, like get money, put on a school feeding project, right? But it depends how the fuel price they while they take over. If it they up at the cut and dog, but I will still put something there, right? Where I will actually use for feed because I make this project not only me after me for continue for be sustainable. I tell about growth. I want this scheme be successful. May continue after me. Anybody they can for continue. It will be sustainable, right? So from sugar and salt again, and they put small tax there, like that and pop na the school feeding project.
Yeah.
Now that's how I do. So I will stop the first way after funding. I know what answer to all things, but this is area look at because the fuel na commodity way highly demanded. Sugar, they eat and daily, salt as well, and the trade, because the trade Sierra Leone will not attract a lot of businesses there. So I now make it be just stop on trade. For any trade agreement where me enter to, I they put money there, they pump and the school. I also consider the tourism industry. Any tourist where they fly us alone in tickets, I they put that 5p day, pull out, proper inside the school feeding project. So now that's the intention.
Okay, Chief, I want to say many thanks for that because you tried for resist first, but at least in the end, you did give way to some, which is quite important because, I mean, the project there, then kind of quite important, even though most times they can play politics with them, but now because it's central to development and the kind of nation will find we serve. But costing is so central to a project of this kind that if you were to go on different channels today, the same question will be posed to you. So I make a gladdy when you touch on issue them as to how potentially you go fund them. If you want to say something else.
Yes, sorry, yes.
That's all right.
I count the government, the leadership of this project. I guess what project about this project school feed mill, if these projects are not implemented, if I don't implement them, or I fail to implement them, my government is a failed government. That's the major success for me. If I fail for implement the free school mill, their government is a failed government. That means it's a record, mark me on them. If I fail for implement the free school mill at Sierra Leone, me I fail, or my first time in government, I fail, my government is a failed government. That's so many major success.
Yeah, okay. Chief, many thanks for that. I just want to ask you one critical question in terms of this education thing before I move on, here to one of another potential policy project of yours, which is you they accept, say, an education policy of some kind that you accept already there in existence, because you seem for focus on a component of part of that structure there, which falls under the same education, but feeding, a free feeding program falling under education. Is there something in itself that you will change, or you accept some components of the education policy which stands now, but reform them or tweak them in some way in collaboration with you feeding program?
Thank you very much for that question. 2018, when the President Bio called free education, I was one of the fans of that project. So what he do, the project was badly implemented and badly rushed. You see, because, and one thing for the records, I make people go back to the archives. I was interviewed by, I think, Coco's time, one famous newspaper in Sierra Leone. So it's on record. I was interviewed in Freetown Hill Station. Now they are slot this guy say, me, I will count the English style of education Sierra Leone, where it will be a free, me going to fund that project. Now they take it for me. But I was the first person we measure that interview about free education. Not only free education, I talk about even Paneba Road for move on side to other side. It's on record, it at the archives. I was the first person. So if you ask me about free education, I'm a fan because I'm a beneficiary of free education in England, right? And I know sincerely will get potential. But they can't say what they do them. It shouldn't be rushed. That's why we have pilot scheme. Most see them across the board as stakeholders, cut across political party. Most see them and look at the scale of the demand of this project. Because free education, you get huge demand. That's why you're struggling, because they're not identified a source of funding where it's sustainable. That's why the project is, because how can you implement free education when the teachers are badly paid? The schools are dilapidated. We don't even get library, because the library got breached. They say breached library. The library now they feed in this education system. Let's go get library at Kenya, na Bo, na Kabakedi, na Kambia, na Kalau, na Kabala, na Kono, na Losar, na Mashimura, na Poloko, na Freetown. Let's get we'll get like 6 libraries at Freetown. We'll get 2 in West, we'll get 2 Central, and 2 in East. Now, so to support education. Even, okay, this back for the records, I'll be the first leader when they count e-library in Sierra Leone. And I work with West Africa Examination Board, across the African Union, Mock will introduce the e-library. Because e-library is very cheap and it cost effective, right? It also even minimize stealing. Because if you get internet, you go on a computer, you type your book, you see a reader, you get material, you do work, and move on. So when I team up for introduce e-library in Sierra Leone. But that's again, we need to get lights, we need to get a very strong internet hub where they supply across the country. So these are all things why I say we put in place for support education. Because education for me is key. I know a key policy manifesto because, but currently what did happen? Me, I review the current policy. I review them. I look at the pitfall, the shortcomings, who side they fall short, and I know they, because the first time they fall short, now for fail for bring teachers as center of this project. The teachers should run this program. They should. There's no way would they implement free education without putting the teachers center part of this project. Now the first thing. And the second part, how to go big foreign ambassador for donate for free education. That's a national embarrassment. How to go ask compel MP to pay for the salary for free education. That was a national embarrassment. It was. No, listen, please, we have to call a spade a spade. That was a national embarrassment. I'm not going to do that. In fact, I don't want to say I rely on the policy on foreign aid. I don't hate foreign aid, but like foreign aid for build a state-of-the-art hospital. Like this hospital, it will be demolished. It is colonial. It's too old. It's too old. You know, even the feeding capacity of that area. No demolish, I will build brand new state-of-the-art hospital. I know any money. I tell the British government, say, when I build me a brand new state-of-the-art hospital, when I build that, when I fail engineers for build that, what I don't want to give me. This is what I'm going to do. Because I want Sierra Leone to rely on we own national chattels, we own resources, more to feed the country. And that's what we do. Not for take the money, like what's happened, take a go Dubai, go now talk it widely. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, Chief, many thanks. Fambulem, if you listen and therefore listen subsequently, we talk to an aspiring All People's Congress flag bearer for the coming up